Welcome to another amazing Tesifix podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into the world of Tesla Model Y keys.
We're going beyond just using them, though.
Yeah, we want to really help people understand how to manage them all.
Totally, like a pro.
So many different types, right?
You've got your phone key using the Tesla app,
Right.
a physical key card, and sometimes even a key fob.
So not everyone has all three.
Exactly. Not all regions or configurations offer the fob, so that's something to keep in mind.
So depending on where you are, what Model Y you've got, you might not have all the options.
Right. You can't just assume you'll have all three.
Okay, so let's say I'm in my car. How do I see which keys are actually authorized?
Go to your touchscreen, head to Controls, and then Locks. You'll see a list of all the keys that can access your Model Y.
And that's it. Just list them out.
Well, it gets better.
Okay.
The car actually uses different icons to show you whether each key is a phone, a card, or a fob.
Oh, that's clever.
Mm.
So you know right away.
Yeah, like a little visual cheat sheet right there on the screen.
I like it. Okay, so, just hypothetically,
Sure.
if I wanted to share access with my entire extended family,
Yeah.
how many keys could I actually give out?
Well, you might have to draw the line somewhere because the Model Y supports a maximum of 19 keys.
Okay, 19 people I can share with.
With a limit of 4 key fobs, though.
Interesting. Is that just a technical thing?
It makes you wonder, right? Is it a technical limitation, a security choice, or maybe a bit of both?
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's not something you'd think about with a regular car key.
No, not at all.
Now, what about that multi-vehicle pairing thing? I hear Tesla owners talking about that all the time.
Oh, it's a fantastic feature. Basically, let's say you have 2 Teslas.
A Model Y and a Model 3.
Perfect example. You wouldn't want just one.
Haha. Living the dream, right?
Exactly. With multi-vehicle pairing, you can use a single key card or fob for both.
So no need to juggle keys.
No more bulky keychains.
That's so convenient. And that works for both, the cards and fobs.
There's a slight catch with fobs.
Okay.
You can pair them with multiple cars, but passive entry and remote unlock only work with one vehicle at a time.
I see. So it's not totally seamless.
Right, but it's easy to switch.
Oh, how do you do that?
You just touch the fob to the driver's side door pillar.
Oh,
It's like you're assigning it to that specific car.
Gotcha. So it's a one key at a time situation for the fobs.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious about naming these keys.
Oh yeah, you can personalize them.
Cool.
But there's a little quirk you should know about.
Okay, I'm all ears.
If you customize a key's name on one Model Y,
Yeah.
that change actually applies to all the vehicles that key is paired with.
Whoa, really?
So if you name your key card Bob on your Model Y,
Uh-huh. Okay, Bob.
it'll also be Bob on your Model 3.
That's both cool and a little strange.
It is. Makes you think about how connected all your Teslas really are.
Totally. Okay, let's get into actually adding a new key.
Oh.
Let's start with a phone key.
So first things first, you need the Tesla app downloaded.
Makes sense.
And you got to be logged into your Tesla account on your phone.
So it's not just about having the app, you need to be signed in.
Precisely.
Got it.
Then make sure Bluetooth is enabled,
Okay.
both in your phone's general settings and specifically for the Tesla app.
So double check that Bluetooth.
Absolutely. And location access needs to be set to always for the Tesla app.
Like always.
So your car always knows where your phone is.
Okay, that makes sense.
And finally, allow mobile access on the car's touchscreen.
So it's like both your phone and the car have to agree to this whole phone key thing.
Exactly. It's about security,
Yeah.
making that connection intentionally.
So then once all that's set up,
While you're near your Model Y, open the Tesla app,
okay,
and you can either tap Set Up Phone Key on the main screen,
okay.
or go to Security and then Set Up Phone Key.
Gotcha.
You'll get prompts on both the app and touchscreen to guide you through the pairing.
Sounds pretty straightforward. I like it when things are easy.
Me too.
Now, any security concerns with these phone keys?
Well, the main thing to remember is that the car detects your phone using Bluetooth,
Right.
but it can't tell if it's inside or outside the vehicle.
So even if my phone is in my pocket, as far as the car is concerned, it's basically right next to it.
Exactly. So leaving your paired phone inside the car is basically like leaving your keys in the ignition.
Anyone could just drive off.
That's the risk, unfortunately.
That's scary.
So yeah, treat that phone key with the same care you would a physical key.
No leaving it in the cup holder.
Haha, definitely not.
Now, are there any other weird situations with these phone keys? Like anything I should watch out for?
Let's say you're waiting in the car and want to stay inside but keep it locked for safety.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You might think, oh, I'll just lock my phone, but that won't actually lock the car.
Why? How am I not?
Because the phone key is always active. As long as it's within Bluetooth range, the car will unlock as soon as you pull the door handle.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't matter if the phone's locked or if I have walkaway door lock enabled.
Nope, the car just sees the phone.
So how do you lock yourself in then, if you need to?
You have to use the lock icon on the car's touchscreen.
So it's like a manual override for the phone key.
Precisely. That way you're actually locked in no matter what your phone settings are.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've covered phone keys pretty well.
I think so.
What about adding other types of keys, like the key card? Does that work differently if you already have a working key?
You're right, there are different scenarios. Let's start with the one where you already have a paired key card or fob and you want to add another one.
Okay, walk me through that.
Okay, so go to Controls on the touchscreen,
Yep.
then Locks, then Keys, and select Add Key.
Add key, got it.
You'll need to scan your new key card or fob on the card reader behind the cup holders.
Oh, right. I always forget about that little reader down there.
It's easy to miss. Once
Yeah.
the car recognizes it, remove the new key and scan an existing paired key to confirm the new pairing.
So you always need an already authenticated key to add a new one.
Yes, exactly. It's a security thing.
So someone can't just grab your car and add their own key without you knowing.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Very smart. So what if you don't have any working key card or fob at all? Like, let's say you lost your only key.
That's when you need the Tesla mobile app to add a new key.
Oh, okay.
But there's a catch.
Let me guess. It's a security thing.
You got it. Only the owner of the vehicle can actually add a new key using the mobile app.
Ah, so no sneaky business.
It prevents unauthorized access,
Makes sense. So let's say I am the owner and I've lost my key.
Okay.
I need to add a new one through the app. No other working keys.
Okay, so first, check that your Tesla app is version 4.29.0 or later,
Gotcha.
and that your car is running software version 2022.40 or higher.
So both the app and the car need to be updated?
Yep, it's all connected. Then, open the app,
Okay.
go to Security and Drivers, and tap Add Key Card.
Add key card. Got it.
Then you'll scan the new key card or fob on that same card reader behind the cup holders.
Okay. Same spot as before.
Exactly. Make sure the key fob is at room temperature before scanning, by the way.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It just helps with the reading.
Huh. The more you know.
Right. Once the key is paired, you'll get a confirmation in the app. Tap Done, remove the key, and you're all set.
Wow. So even without an existing key, it's still pretty straightforward.
Tesla's really made it easy, thankfully.
Now, what about removing a key? Like if you've lost one or don't want one to have access anymore.
For that, head to Controls on the touchscreen, then Locks.
Okay.
You'll see your key list, find the one you want to delete, and tap the little trash icon next to it.
Oh, the little trash can. I always think that's so satisfying, just deleting something.
Right. But just to be safe, the car will ask you to confirm, make sure you don't accidentally delete the wrong key.
I can just imagine accidentally wiping out all my keys and then being totally stuck.
It's happened. But that's why it asks for confirmation.
Yeah, good safeguard.
You'll need to scan an authenticated key on the card reader to actually delete it.
So it's the same deal as adding a key. You need a working key to make changes.
Exactly. Got to keep those security layers in place.
Once you've confirmed, though, it's gone. Like, really gone.
Gone, gone, gone. No more access for that key.
I like it. Now, can you delete all the keys? Like every single one?
Nope, you can't go completely keyless.
Why not?
Your Model Y always requires at least one authenticated key card or fob for security.
Ah, that's actually a good safety net.
Prevents those accidental lockouts.
Exactly. Smart thinking on Tesla's part.
Totally.
Okay, so we've covered adding and removing keys.
We've got the basics down.
What about replacing a key card altogether? Like if you lose it, can you get a new one?
Absolutely. You can buy replacement key cards from the Tesla shop.
Oh, that's good to know.
Easy peasy.
So no need to panic if you lose a key card. Just order a new one.
Exactly. And don't forget to remove that lost one from the key list once you've replaced it.
Right. You don't want it floating around out there.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We've gone deep on keys.
It's more than just unlocking and locking. It's all about understanding these nuances.
The security implications.
And all the ways you can personalize your access.
It's really quite a system.
It is. And we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
There's so much more to discover about how these keys interact with your phone and the car's software.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued to learn more. Maybe we can dive even deeper into these details in a future episode.
Sounds good to me. I'm always up for a good Tesla deep dive.
Me too. Before the break, we were talking about replacing a lost key card. And you mentioned something really important.
Oh, yeah.
About making sure to delete it from the car's system. even after you've replaced it.
Yeah, it might seem obvious, but you really don't want that lost card floating around out there.
Right. Better safe than sorry. So let's walk through exactly how to do that for anyone who might be in that situation.
Okay, so first you go to the touchscreen and tap on controls,
Then go to locks, and you'll see that list of all your keys.
that familiar list. And then is there like a little delete button?
You got it. There's a little trash can icon next to each key.
Oh, yeah, the trash can. I love deleting things. It's so satisfying.
It is. But the car will make you confirm, just to be extra safe.
Good, because I can totally see myself accidentally deleting all my keys and then being stuck.
Oh, it happens. But that's why they have that confirmation step.
Right, makes sense.
To actually delete it, you'll need to scan an authenticated key on that card reader.
So same as adding a key, you need a working key to authorize the removal.
Exactly. Got to keep those security measures in place.
Once you've confirmed, though, it's gone, like really gone.
It's out of there. No more access for that key.
Okay, that's good to know. Now let's talk more about the phone key. We touched on some security concerns before,
Yes, definitely some things to be aware of with the phone key.
especially for people using their phone as their primary key. What are some key things to keep in mind?
The biggest one is remembering that the car uses Bluetooth
Right.
to detect your phone, but it can't actually tell if your phone is inside or outside the vehicle.
Right, we talked about that, but it's easy to forget. So, even if my phone is buried in my backpack in the back seat, the car still thinks it's with me.
Yep, that's right.
And that's where the security risk comes in.
That's the problem. So someone breaks into your car, finds your phone inside.
They can drive off with my Model Y.
It's not great, but that's the reality.
That's terrifying.
So the biggest thing is treat your phone like you would a regular key.
Don't leave it in the car. No more leaving my phone in the cup holder while I run into a store.
Not a good idea.
Now, are there any other situations where phone keys can get a little tricky? Like anything else to watch out for?
Let's say you're waiting in the car for someone,
Okay.
and you want to stay inside but keep the car locked.
Yeah, for safety, that makes sense.
You might think you can just lock your phone,
Yeah.
but that won't actually lock the car.
Why not?
Because the phone key, it's always active. So as long as the phone is within range, the car will unlock as soon as you pull the door handle.
So it doesn't matter if my phone is locked.
Doesn't matter. No.
Or if I have walkaway door lock enabled.
Nope. The car just sees that phone nearby and unlocks.
Wow, okay, so how do you actually lock yourself inside with a phone key if you need to?
You have to use the lock icon on the car's touchscreen.
Ah, so you're basically overriding the phone key.
Exactly. That way you're definitely locked in no matter what your phone is doing.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Good.
So we've covered some of the potential downsides of phone keys.
How to be aware of those.
Now let's talk about something more fun, like multi-vehicle pairing.
Ah, yes. This is one of my favorite features.
I'm so excited about this. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, like one key to rule them all.
It's pretty close. So imagine you have your Model Y.
And my Model 3.
There you go. With normal car keys, you need two separate sets, right? Bulky keychains, not fun.
Totally. So how does multi-vehicle pairing work? It sounds like magic.
It lets you use a single key card or fob for both cars.
No way. Just one key and I can switch between them.
Seamlessly. No more digging through your bag for the right key.
That is incredible. So I can literally walk up to either car with the same key and unlock it.
Almost. There's a little thing with the key fob.
Okay.
You can pair it with multiple cars, but the passive entry and remote unlock, those only work with one vehicle at a time.
Ah, so there is a slight limitation.
Right, but it's really easy to switch between them.
Oh, how do you do that?
You just touch the fob, the flat side, to the card reader on the driver's side door pillar.
Oh, okay.
It's like a little handshake between the fob and the car.
I love that. So it's a minor inconvenience for the huge convenience of having one key for both cars.
Exactly. It's a game changer for anyone with multiple Teslas.
Totally agree. Now, you mentioned something earlier about naming key fobs.
Oh.
Tell me more about that. I love these little Tesla quirks.
So let's say you have your key fob paired with both your Y and your 3. And you decide to give it a custom name.
Like Road Trip Buddy or something?
Exactly. Something fun. Well, that name change will actually show up on both cars.
What? Really?
So your Model Y and your Model 3 will both recognize that key fob as Road Trip Buddy.
That is so cool. It's like they're in sync, even down to the names of the keys.
It really shows how connected the whole Tesla ecosystem is.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about multi-vehicle pairing.
We've covered a lot.
Now let's circle back to the phone key for a sec.
Sure.
We mentioned Bluetooth earlier.
Yes.
But your phone needs enough battery power to maintain that connection, right?
Absolutely. That's important. Bluetooth can drain your battery.
Yeah, you can.
So if your phone's battery gets too low,
Oh,
the Bluetooth might switch off and then no more phone key.
yikes. So always good to have a backup plan, like a key card, just in case.
Always a good idea, especially if you rely on your phone as your main key.
Okay, duly noted. So phone keys can be convenient, but got to be prepared.
Exactly.
Now, what about losing a key card? We talked about replacing it, but let's go into a little more detail.
Okay, yeah, it's something that could happen to anyone.
No matter how organized you are, you could still lose a key card, so what do?
The good news is you don't have to panic. You can buy a replacement key card from the Tesla shop.
Oh, okay, so they're not hard to get.
They're easy to find, so you can get back on the road quickly.
That's a relief.
Just order a new one, pair it with your car, same steps as we talked about before.
And of course, remove that lost key card from your key list for security.
Super important. You don't want someone finding that lost card and having access to your car.
Absolutely. So, to recap, if you lose a key card, don't worry.
Be calm.
Get a replacement, pair it, and remove the old one from your list.
Exactly.
Thankfully, it's a straightforward process.
It is.
Now, one last thing about phone security, just to drive the point home.
Yeah, it's worth repeating.
We talked about the risk of leaving your phone in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to forget about that these days. Phones are just such a part of our lives.
They are, so treat your phone like you would a physical key.
Don't leave it unattended.
Don't leave it in the car. Be aware of your surroundings. You know, it's about keeping your Model Y safe.
At the end of the day, it's not just about convenience, it's about security.
Exactly.
I think we've covered pretty much everything there is to know about managing Model Y keys.
I think so too. We've really gone deep on this one.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've talked about all the different types,
Key cards, fobs, phone keys,
adding them, removing them, using them,
all those ins and outs.
and all the little quirks that make Tesla keys so unique.
There are a lot of them.
But before we get to our final thoughts, I think there's one more interesting thing we haven't touched on yet.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've talked about all the practical stuff, how to use the keys, manage them, security.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture?
What do you mean?
Like, Tesla has totally revolutionized what a car key even is.
That's true.
They took this thing that was always physical and made it digital, something you control with your phone.
It's a whole different way of thinking about keys.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like having a little computer in your pocket that can talk to your car.
And that opens up a whole world of possibilities.
It does. But, sometimes I do miss the simplicity of just grabbing a key and going,
I get that. There's a certain nostalgia to a physical key.
There is.
But think about all the advantages of digital keys. You can share access with others instantly.
Oh, yeah.
You can monitor who has access, even control it remotely. You can customize the keys for your needs.
That's true. It's like we've traded in simplicity for a whole new level of control.
And customization. That's part of what makes Tesla ownership so exciting.
It's not just about driving the car. It's about experiencing the future of technology.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, I remember us mentioning that limit of 19 keys and only 4 fobs.
Right.
What happens if you hit that limit?
That's a good question. It really highlights the importance of being thoughtful about how you manage your keys.
So what's the solution if you need to add more than 19 keys? Like a big family or a business where lots of people need access.
Unfortunately, you can't exceed that limit.
Oh, wow.
So you really have to choose carefully and prioritize which keys are absolutely necessary.
So it becomes a question of who gets a key and who doesn't.
Exactly, and that's where the ability to customize key names comes in handy.
Right, because if you have a long list, it can be hard to remember who has which key and what level of access they have.
That's the problem.
So it's like making your own little key directory.
Exactly, and that helps you manage a large number of keys much more easily.
I love that. It's all about taking control of your Tesla and making it work for you.
That's what it's all about.
And that's what we hope you've gained from this deep dive.
A deeper understanding of how these keys work.
And the tools to manage them effectively.
Absolutely.
We've covered so much today, from the different types of keys to adding and removing them, using them.
We talked about phone keys, key cards, fobs.
The convenience of phone keys, the versatility of key cards, that familiar feeling of a key fob.
Good old-fashioned fob.
We even talked about multi-vehicle pairing, the security considerations, what to do if you lose a key.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. A fascinating journey into the world of Tesla key management, and I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
There's always more to learn, isn't there?
Always. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed
Okay.
and offer some final thoughts for our listeners.
All right. Sounds good.
What wisdom do you have to impart, oh wise expert?
Well, I think the key takeaway here, pun intended,
I see what you did there.
is that knowledge is power. The more you understand about your car, the more confident you'll feel behind the wheel.
So true.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with your Tesla.
And most importantly, have fun. That's what owning a Tesla is all about, isn't it?
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Tesla Model Y keys.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, drive safe and stay charged. Before the break, we were talking about that 19 key limit.
Right. You can only have so many keys authorized on your Model Y.
So what happens if you hit that limit?
It's a good question.
Let's say you've got a huge family. Or maybe you run a business where lots of people need access to the car.
Well, unfortunately, there's no way to go beyond 19 keys.
Oh, wow. So that's it.
So you have to be really thoughtful about your key management and prioritize who absolutely needs a key.
Makes sense. I guess you can't just give everyone a key.
Nope, not with that limit.
It becomes a question of, like, who really needs access and who doesn't.
Exactly.
I guess that's where customizing the key names becomes even more important.
Yeah, especially if you've got a long list.
Right, because it can get hard to remember who's got which key and what level of access they have.
Exactly. You don't want to get them mixed up.
So it's like creating your own little key directory for the Model Y.
Exactly. Helps you keep track of everything.
So we've talked about a lot of practical tips and tricks for managing these Tesla keys.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What's the most important thing to remember?
I think the most important thing is understanding that managing your Tesla Model Y keys is about more than just knowing how to use them.
It's deeper than that.
It's about realizing you have this advanced technology at your fingertips, and with that comes a certain responsibility.
So it's not just about convenience, it's about being smart and safe too.
Exactly. You're in control of who has access to your car, how they access it, and how it all works.
It really puts you in the driver's seat, pun intended.
Nice one. And I think that's a great note to end on.
It is.
As you continue your journey as a Model Y owner, remember that the more you learn,
The better.
the more confident you'll be. So keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, have fun.
That's the best advice. Owning a Tesla should be fun.
Absolutely. It's an amazing car, and there's so much to discover.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Tesla Model Y keys.
It's been a pleasure being here.
And thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in.
We appreciate you.
Until next time, drive safe and stay charged.